Hi guys, welcome back to Clever News. I'm Katie Krause, joined by, of course, Ms. Deidre Behar.
Hi everyone.
And I'm very excited because we also have Jocelyn Davis from Clever TV here tonight.
It's a big night tonight.
It is a big night. We just got done watching the series finale of Gossip Girl. OMG, you guys, so much happened. I think the biggest explosive moment, though, was the big reveal of Gossip Girl.
Oh yes.
It was Mr. Dan Humphrey.
Maybe I could write myself into it. I'd overheard enough conversations to be able to mimic the language of the Constance girls, but every writer needs his muse. And it wasn't until that photo of Serena in the white dress that I knew I had something strong enough to actually create a legend, launch a website. Within weeks, I was getting dozens of emails with stories about Upper East Siders, so I posted them anonymously. And then, I got more.
What do you guys make of that? What do you think?
Okay, well, as you guys know, you probably saw the show that we did last week. We sort of predicted who we thought Gossip Girl would be. Katie gets 125,000% credit for being so spot on guessing Dan. I always had a hunch that it was Dorota.
But the other cast members also thought it was Dorota. There was even a line tonight where someone said, I thought it was Dorota.
Right? Okay, so I wasn't alone. I wasn't completely nuts. But, watching it, I think you would probably agree. We were piecing it together a little bit, and like 3/4 of the way through, we were like, done deal, Dan Humphrey is Gossip Girl.
Yeah, it was really crazy, that final moment. I mean, I don't know what was more fascinating, actually finding out who Gossip Girl was on the show, or just watching Katie Krause watch the episode. But you're really indicative of the fandom that has been following the show for 6 years, trying to guess for 6 years who Gossip Girl is. And I honestly think there was never a point in time when people were like, I'm bored, I don't know who Gossip Girl is.
No.
I think that it was always a big mystery, and I think the fact that it was Dan, this season I could see how they would make it Dan. I think the reason why people were so maybe against it or confused by it originally was because of everything that Gossip Girl said about Jenny Humphrey,
However,
his sister.
That was explained tonight.
And that was explained tonight. So I think it makes perfect sense. He was Lonely Boy. He did write that book. He did have, friendships, relationships with all the major cast members. He always just wanted to fit in. And guess what? He made it happen.
He did.
I have a question for you guys. When Dan revealed to the group that it was him, no one really seems to be angry. Blair a little bit, but she got over it like literally in an instant. Did you expect that reaction, or did you expect the Upper East Siders to be like, Dan Humphrey, get out of my house?
I kind of expected them to be angry, but that was in the context of maybe at the beginning of the season. I feel like all of the characters have really grown. They've come to learn what's important, especially, let's be serious. The people who are going to be mad about the situation were, Chuck and Blair.
Yeah.
They've already been through so much drama that they don't even care about anything except themselves at this point.
I agree, and I mean the big tagline was "You're nobody until you're talked about,"
True.
and they were all, except for Saint Nate, sending in topics and issues and things themselves to Gossip Girl. They all wanted to be written about. They all used it against each other, and I think that that's
No more hiding.
the beauty and the ugly of the Upper East Side, right?
So true.
Very true. Very true.
We also have to talk about Blair and Chuck. They got their happily ever after tonight.
Yes, I mean, I think I speak on behalf of most of America when I say it was about time. Their chemistry just throughout all 6 seasons was almost tangible. You felt it, and I loved when they flashed back during the first hour of the program, and you saw like, my blood is boiling, I'm electrified with anger, and then they start making out in true Chuck and Blair fashion, and I just love them for it. And then, you guys, I think one of my personal highlights of tonight was perhaps Mr. Henry Bass. Henry Bass.
Yes.
Henri. The French version.
Henri.
The cutest little boy ever to walk the streets of New York,
Right? Did you guys expect that?
Just in that moment, that was the happiest moment for me. I think everything
agree.
came full circle, because if the show would have ended after the wedding, I still would have been really happy. We knew who Gossip Girl was. But now we know that 5 years later, these people are still secure. They're still together. We have that peace of mind, and I need that peace of mind to sleep at night.
Yes, and I'm also very happy that Dan and Serena did not get married right away, that they clearly waited many years into the future to tie the knot, and I think that that was the only way that the writers could have done it where it made sense, because had they have gotten married 2 days after Cher tied the knot, then I think it would have been a little bit strange or rushed. And I think that this was like, okay, they spent some time together, they made sure. And I was very happy that Jenny Humphrey and Eric Vanderwoodson came back.
Oh yeah.
Although they did not say much.
A single word. Actually, nothing, basically.
What do you think that's about? Because to get them and to coordinate with Taylor Momsen and Connor Paolo's schedules, to get them in New York to shoot this important episode, you'd think that they'd put maybe a little more oomph into it and we'd at least get a few syllables out of them.
Maybe there just wasn't time within the context
of
the
how
episode.
the final scene.
Because there were some other big cameos. I know personally, I completely lost it when Kristen Bell and Rachel Bilson were.
And also Jessica Zora came back.
It was like an outer body experience.
That was very strange. That was
Willa Holland
amazing.
came back.
Yes.
Katie Cassidy came back. I mean, I think the executive producers on Gossip Girl really rolled out the red carpet for this one and delivered.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I also thought it was interesting that they played Taylor Momsen's band, the Pretty Reckless. They played their song at the very end of the episode. I don't know if that had something to do with her deciding to come back, because
It probably did.
I've talked to her before and she was saying that she never wanted to go back. So I'm glad that she did it for the fans, because I think it was an important moment for her to be there.
You guys know that I am the biggest One Tree Hill fan also.
Yes.
One Tree Hill also ended this year, and I loved that at the end of One Tree Hill we kind of saw the next chapter. It was Jamie Scott, the son on the show, making it into the big leagues, becoming a basketball player, and I think that's what I really liked about tonight. It was like Dan Humphrey might be out of the picture, but Gossip Girl is most certainly still alive, and we saw a new person walking down, the streets of New York, sort of trying to make their mark and just stand out and not be a fly on the wall. Which
I agree.
love.
And I can only hope that one day there will be some sort of spin-off.
Yes.
But in the meantime, the Carrie Diaries is going to take the time slot of Gossip Girl. We've all seen the first episode.
Yes.
We all really liked it. What are you guys most looking forward to with that show?
Probably the clothes, if I'm being totally honest. The pilot was really great, and I think it set the base, the foundation for what could be a really incredible show. But I love the clothing. It's 80s, vintage at this point, and it's actually the same costume designer as Gossip Girl, which we found out this evening.
Eric.
And if Eric,
He is a
you're
god.
the god.
You are
So,
a god.
If that's any sort of hint as to what we'll be seeing in the future, I can't wait to watch and
Me
drool.
neither.
100%. And I think Blake Lively brings a certain it factor, a certain star power to Gossip Girl that I think Anna Sophia Robb really could bring to Carrie Diaries. I loved her chemistry with Austin Butler. I think they're a total love of a couple. And like you said, the clothing. I mean, Serena Vanderwoodson's wedding gown tonight, you guys, the half gold, that was genius on so many different levels. I couldn't even deal with it.
Yes, very Serena. And also Leighton Meester or Blair Waldorf's Ellie Saab gown. I
with
thought
the crown.
yes,
Gorgeous.
a dream and a half. Before we wrap up, I want to go down memory lane and talk about our favorite moments ever on Gossip Girl.
Oh my
gosh.
I think that mine might be the Victor Victrola episode with Blair and Chuck making out in the limo.
Oh yeah.
For the first time, and you
Electrifying.
had, I think it was Sum 41 playing in the background, and that was, I think, my favorite moment on the show. What about you guys? I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
To pick because I really have watched every single episode. But
6 years.
I was kind of a little Jay sucker, and I loved it when she kind of got really powerful in that last season when she was on the show for all the episodes of the season, and she had that runway show. Wasn't she dating Nate at that point?
Yes.
She got really aggro and woman in charge, and I just really loved that part of her character. So I'm glad she was back for the finale.
Absolutely. Actually, speaking of Little Jay, I also like the masquerade ball with her and
Iconic.
Serena, and they were both in similar masks and dresses, and Nate he thought it was Serena that he was kissing, but actually it was Little Jay. I thought that was a good moment of the show.
Me too.
I really miss Little Jay. Once she left the show, kind of like you said, exactly what I was thinking. Her rise in society and interning for Eleanor Waldorf and really proving herself as this force behind this sewing machine. And she kind of just went from rags to sort of riches overnight.
did.
And I loved how she transformed and just went from being a plain Jane to va 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 voom. And when she and Agnes had their little wild child
That was
moments,
fun.
loved that.
That was really fun. Yeah.
Agreed. And I think it's also important to point out that Nage, that is Nate and Sage, seem to be done. No more. Thank God for that.
So is he a bachelor mayor?
I think so. I think he's running for mayor. He did not
hot
have a
mayor.
lady on his arm, and we are very happy
I
about
would
that.
vote for him.
Yes. Were you guys wanting to see him end up with Anyone?
No, because he's supposed to date one of us. Hello.
Hello, Chase
Bi-coastal
Crawford.
relationship.
Exactly. Well, anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up?
100% pleased on all fronts. They wrapped it up with a bow, and I feel like I have closure. I feel like I know what the characters did with their lives, and I can go to sleep very peacefully tonight.
I completely agree. The only thing I was a little bummed out by was that Lily and Rufus did not end up together.
Very weird, because I always thought that they had one of those love affairs that was going to last a lifetime. Yes, I really thought that they had that, but maybe it was because of the Dan and Serena ending up together. It's too many Vanderwoodsons and Humphreys together. Maybe
a little too weird.
Yeah.
And if everything would have ended up completely perfectly on the show, we would have been like, this is not real.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't really happen.
But I really want to take this opportunity to write a thank you note just to all of the people in charge of making this show for serving up the most beautiful eye candy week after week, introducing us to the most attractive humans we've ever seen in our lives. So salutations.
Yes, thank you for Penn Badgley, Ed Westwick, Chase Crawford, and the ladies. They are so gorgeous.
Beautiful women.
We just love Leighton and Blake both.
So holding on for a calendar.
Yes, a Gossip Girl calendar in 2013. We want to hear from you guys, though. What you guys thought of the finale. Leave us all of your thoughts, opinions, comments below. We will do our very best to respond to you all. And of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Pretty please, do it right now. Thanks for watching. For Deidre and Jocelyn, I'm Katie, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
XO.
XO. Gossip Girl. That's when
Clever girls.
I'll never tell.